It is not uncomfortable heat we're talking about this weekend, but dangerous heat. I'm KHOE meteorologist Kim Castro. Let me walk you through what's going on and how to prepare yourself. We're talking about triple-digit days this weekend. That's for actual air temperature. Now, when you factor in the humidity with that, what it's actually going to feel like between 108 to 112. There is a possibility for a little sprinkle this afternoon and a better chance for that tomorrow. So a little relief in those spots that do get some moisture, but that's going to be very, very limited. Heat is what you're going to be talking about, and heat is what you're going to want to protect yourself from. So just a couple tips right off the bat. If you've got plans this weekend, try to rearrange them so that you are indoors. One of my favorite places to go when it's this hot, dangerous heat that we're talking about, the movies. We got some free air conditioned space there, some nice entertainment. You can also go to the mall and seek some relief from the intense heat. I'm talking about values that have already put us under a heat advisory, and this is for the entire viewing area. A heat advisory meaning that the temperatures are going to remain above 105, actually pushing up to 108 to 112 like we talked about for multiple hours back to back. This advisory lasts us until 9 o'clock in the evening, and if you're looking to escape from the heat, well, I'm telling you, don't travel to the northeast quadrant of the state. That area not only under an advisory, but actually an excessive heat warning. The immediate states to our east, to Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, also under an excessive heat warning, which means it's even hotter there. Values for what it feels like could jump up to 115 degrees and above that. We're under a heat advisory because our feels like conditions will jump above 108 degrees. Now, why is this happening? Let's talk about actual air temperature first. So high pressure, a ridge is building. We see this kind of two-dimensional model of it, but really we have to kind of slice the atmosphere in the vertical to really understand what's going on. So anytime we have high pressure on top of us, it means the atmosphere is getting taller, it's getting heavier. We've got all of this air that is mounted on top of us. So when the actual air temperature aloft starts off at, let's say, 90 degrees, as it travels down every 1,000 feet, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter because of compressional heating. All of that hot air on top of us, by the time it gets to us, it cooks up. So 102 will be the high for this afternoon. Now we also have to, like we talked about, factor in the moisture in the air. Dew points are going to stay steady throughout the day at around 70 to 75 degrees, and that means it's going to feel summer muggy. Anytime we get to 70 or above, it's basically a free sauna out there. So what's it actually going to feel like? Well, it's already going to feel like the century mark at the airport as early as 11 o'clock in the morning, and that's when that advisory kicks in. Lasts until 9 o'clock in the evening, like we talked about. Feels like 101 in Brenham, Tomball, Sugar Land, El Campo in the upper 90s for the feels like value in the morning. Look at 6 o'clock. Feels like 110 degrees there, feels like 112 degrees in Pearland. It's very possible some of these spots could push above 112 for the feels like conditions, which is why it is very important that we don't test ourselves today, that we really try to stay indoors and remember to stay hydrated. If you start to feel a headache, that's kind of already a sign that you are already dehydrated. So try to avoid getting to that point because it's much harder to get your body to rewind and to acclimate itself than it is to just maintain a nice healthy hydration, a nice healthy balance, and to remain safe from this heat beforehand. So it's really all about preparation for today and really through the weekend. So tonight, 9:30, still feels like the triple digits in most spots. El Campo, you'll notice getting down into the 80s for feels like values. It's possible you could see a little sprinkle there. So the areas that get a little bit of moisture, you'll get brief relief from the heat, some rain-cooled air to kind of make things a little easier momentarily. But once that rain passes, there's even added humidity, and it's going to feel even hotter for you as we move forward. 7:30 tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. Look at what the feels like values already feeling close to 90 degrees, and those temperatures again will push up to some dangerous feels like conditions. Notice the areas there in red, kind of in between Columbus and Tomball, south of Brenham. There's the potential for a little rain-cooled air to come into the mix tomorrow afternoon. I'm putting that at about a 20%. For today, any chance for some sprinkled in precip is very, very low, 10%, meaning only 10% of the viewing area. Only 10% of us have a shot at seeing some of that rain. The rest of us will feel plenty of heat and see plenty of sunshine too. Mostly sunny skies for today, with temperatures warming into the low 90s for actual air temperatures at 11 o'clock. Remember, feels like conditions at 11, already at the century mark. Actual air temperature mid 90s, and then actual air temperature upper 90s by the 3 o'clock hour for the afternoon high. Actual air temperature 102. The record for today, 102. So we're looking to tie that. Feels a lot hotter than that though. For tomorrow, 103. Previous record, 101. So we're looking to surpass that record. Feels hotter than that again. Let's talk about how hot this year has been. Already we've had 56 days above 90 degrees, above 95 degrees, 33 days. And so far this year, we've had 7 days above the triple-digit marker. For context, normal average should be 3, maybe 4 days in the triple digits. Now we are only in July and we've already had 7 days in the triple digits. Really not much rain in sight, not much relief for this entire weekend. As we head into Monday, and especially as we head into the middle of the week, this strong ridge of high pressure, the mounting air that's on top of us, that's going to start to break down. So that's going to pave the way for a little bit of moisture to filter back in. So let's talk about the very limited moisture chances that we have for this weekend first. So that's a snapshot at 7 o'clock. When I'm talking about insignificant, 10% of the viewing area, this is what I mean. Very, very isolated chance for a little spot shower, mainly to our northern counties. So potentially Walker, maybe Montgomery, seeing a little bit of moisture. We do have a stalled out surface front, so that's what could kick up a little bit of moisture to give us some sort of momentary precip. Now, the better chance for this front to kind of lift up the moisture and lift up the atmosphere to bring us the rising motion, cooling air, condensing that eventually becomes rainfall will be tomorrow morning. That front starts to make its push in. A couple of isolated, very, very small shower chances there. Now that becomes a little bit better, or a little bit more organized, and has a bit more potential as we head into the afternoon hours. And that's just because there's more energy in the afternoon. We've had the daytime heating, we've got all that sunshine that's really made things a little bit more unstable. What I mean by that is the sun heats up the surface, and anytime the surface is hotter than the air aloft, it wants to rise. Hot air rises, and that's what creates the instability. So if we have rising motion and we've got something to lift it, that little surface front to lift the air even more so, that's when we could see some shower activity. So the best chance for this weekend will be late on Sunday late afternoon into the early evening. As far as tropical moisture goes, and that's what would really give us some relief and really start to put a dent in the drought, is if we had some tropical moisture. That's not in sight for the next 2 to 5 days. So we've got to work with what we have. So that's a lot of heat. And the best way to work with that, remember, is to stay hydrated and to stay indoors. Limit your time outdoors. Make sure you are catering your activities to the extreme heat. There's a difference between, like I mentioned, uncomfortable heat and dangerous heat. If you spend too much time outside, things could turn very unhealthy very quickly. So 102 for the afternoon high. Remember, it feels a lot hotter than that, between 108 to 112. We're going to repeat that on Sunday. And then we start to see temperatures scale back a little bit as those rain chances ramp up. So high pressure is going to break down. You will be able to resume your outdoor activities as we head into the middle of the week. Of course, dodging rain showers in between. I will be back with an updated forecast for you live on air starting at 9 o'clock this morning. And I'll see you back tomorrow on KHAU Live at 6:30 in the morning.